welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel. In today's video I want to talk about my new monitor, which is a 144Hz monitor, and I want to share with you my experience with my new monitor compared to what I had before, and I want to maybe give you a little hint on if you're thinking about getting a new monitor, which one you might buy yourself. First of all, let me show you what I got. Here you can see an actual picture of my desk, and on the left side you see my new main monitor, which is a BenQ XL2411, and on the right side you see my old main monitor, which is the Dell U2515H. Just to give you a few technical specs, the BenQ is a 24-inch monitor, has a full HD resolution, it comes with a 144Hz refresh rate, and uses a so-called TN-Panel. The Dell is a 25-inch monitor, has 2K resolution, which is 2560 by 1440 pixels, has a 60Hz refresh rate, and uses a so-called IPS-Panel. Both monitors cost me around 280 euros. However, currently the Dell seems to be a little bit more expensive, something like around 310 to 320 euros. Now, to talk about my experience, there are three aspects I want to outline, and I want to tell you what I think which of the monitors is better, and what the reasons are for that. First of all, let's talk about size and resolution. There is a slight difference between 25 and 24 inch. However, in your daily work you won't recognize that much. However, there is a significant difference if you take into account the resolution. Let me quickly show you an example. What the difference is. Here you can see my Steam window on the BenQ monitor. It almost fills the entire screen, and if I move it now a little bit to the right side, so that it's also visible on the Dell, you can see that it is much smaller, and this is simply because of the difference in the pixel density, which is at the Dell around 1.8 times higher than on the BenQ. So the question is, for what is this useful? When do I want to have a high pixel density? Well, basically you want to have this almost at every time of the day. It's very good for daily office work. You can, if you're doing productive work like Photoshop or photo editing, it gives you much more space to work on. And if you have a monitor with such a resolution, usually you actually do not even require a secondary monitor. But this is not only for productive or daily office work, but it's also great for gaming. If you have games like Battlefield 4 or Battlefield General, GTA 5, Crisis 3, Civilization, Anno, and so on and so on, this large resolution is just great because you have a much better experience in the game. The entire game looks just awesome with such a great resolution. However, keep in mind you need a graphics card that can still provide enough frames per second on such a large screen. Now, as a second aspect, let's talk about the panel technology. The difference is IPS versus TN, and if you're a little bit familiar with the topic, you will know that an IPS panel provides much better image quality and color representation. Also, another aspect of TN panel technology, the viewing angle of the TN panel is not as good as on the IPS panel. If you're moving your head to the left or to the right, you will actually see how colors start to change on a TN panel, which does not happen that much on an IPS panel. If you now take a look at gaming, usually I would say also in games the IPS panel is the preferred solution because games simply look better, the colors look better, and yeah, overall it's nicer to have an IPS panel than to have a TN panel. There is one thing, particular for the BenQ monitor. If you use the BenQ monitor, as it comes delivered from the factory, the color settings are just horrible. The image quality is very poor. However, this monitor supports color calibration, so you can actually calibrate this monitor to be relatively close to the good image quality, or the very, very good image quality that the Dell monitor provides. Now the third aspect, which is probably the most interesting for you, the aspect of 144 Hz. And here I would love to show you some footages that I would record with my camera. But actually it's not possible for me to do so because I don't have a camera that supports more than 60 frames per second. So I can't show you the difference of a 144 Hz monitor because you actually won't see that. But I can tell you this. The difference between 144 Hz and 60 Hz is just unbelievable. If you take fast games like Battlefield, Rocket League, or of course CSGO, you will have a great and a much better experience because the images get smoother, the entire gameplay becomes smoother, the images at the same time become much sharper, especially in CSGO. This is of course something very relevant, and I personally have the feeling that you actually don't get better, but it becomes easier, so to say. And just to give you another hint what the difference between 144 and 60 Hz is, even my girlfriend, who is not that much into gaming and all this kind of stuff, even she immediately recognized the difference between 60 Hz and 144 Hz. So yeah, this is something you cannot know if you have never seen this, but if you have ever seen the difference between 60 and 144 Hz, you will never forget the difference, actually. So let's summarize things up, and let's think. And I wanted to do this by thinking about when would I want to use which monitor for. Basically, I would use the Dell for everything, because due to the high pixel density, the much better panel technology, the overall experience with this monitor is much better. And this also of course includes casual gaming, but all that's relevant. Only in very fast games like CSGO, I would actually switch to 144 Hz monitor. But thanks to the color calibration capabilities of the BenQ, I was able to manage to get the colors in such a way that they look comparable to the colors on my Dell monitor. So overall, I made the BenQ my main monitor because now the images look almost the same, and I'm confident with that. But since I'm playing a lot CSGO and other fast games, it makes sense for me to use the BenQ as my main monitor and the Dell as a secondary. Last but not least, which would be the perfect monitor? The perfect monitor for me would be the Dell monitor, but with 144 Hz refresh rate. I hope there will be a monitor like this in the future. Currently, if you want to have an IPS panel and 444 Hz, you have to buy a 27-inch monitor, and they cost around €1,000. So they are more expensive than both of my monitors together. In my eyes, that's too expensive currently, and also I do not want to have 27-inch because, from my experience, for my eyes, that is too large. I like smaller screens, like 24-inch. But yeah, and so I don't have a real choice. However, Dell, if you hear this, please build the 2515H with a 144 Hz display. That would be great. Thanks for watching. I hope this was interesting for you, and see you in the next video.